So yeah, I'm Raugi. I just like to thank, everyone, Cindy and the whole festival for having me here. I'm really honored to be here and to speak to you all. I think it's really important for. I'll just get right into it. I don't know if I don't remember the questions, but I know what I'm going to talk about. So, yeah, is it hard being a BIPOC artist? Of course it is, right? It's been hard my whole life, and not like boo-hoo, hard my whole life, but like, wow, how interesting. And it's a cliche to say this, but to all BIPOC artists out there, I do say, stay in your moment. That's what's going to get you where maybe you think you're never going to get to. That means when you're catching beatings for being Asian, yeah, that's your moment. So you stay in it, and then you'll come through. You don't hide from your moment. You don't try to distract from your moment, blame for your moment. And all those things are very easy to do, like I've done them, because it's hard, it sucks, right? I'm 6, I get off the bus every day, and there's 3 people waiting for me, right? It's like the only Chinese family in a French-Canadian neighborhood. That's it. Some days I got away, every day I tried to defend, most days I just got beat up, right? So, but I'm 6, I don't, what's my moment, right? I remember my first day of kindergarten, that happened to me. I was so naive. I'm 6, right? And and it was so bad, my dad was had this thing pinned on my chest. It was the size of my torso almost. So my name, my phone number, and I'm Dad, this is so embarrassing. He's it's in case you get lost, right? And these 3 French Canadian kids just start picking on me, right? Calling me the CH word and grabbing my backpack and pushing me around, and so started crying and ran home, and then I see my dad's big blue Buick is in the driveway, because he went to work at 3 or 4 in the morning working on airplane engines, because he was an aeronautical engineer, but he was home by 3. And I got home and just walked in yay. It was first day of school. He's how was school? I'm oh, it was great. It was great, Dad. Why were you crying? I'm I wasn't crying. I wasn't crying. He's I can see it on your face. Streaks, right? He's don't lie to me, right? It's terrifying. And I'm well, yeah, because, and then the kids, right? So what's his response? Very fascinating, because I'm a parent now, and I would never respond this way. He's you remember what I taught you, right? Just, how to defend myself, right? And I'm 6, dude, right? I'm there's 3 of them, right? He's doesn't matter how many, right? Kind of thing. So Chinese movie, and I'm okay, Dad, right? Next day, same thing happens, except this time, I go to the side view mirror of the big blue Buick, and I clean my face, right? So my dad can't tell. So I walk in, he's looks at me, what happened today? Right? Chain smoker. I'm oh, it's good, Dad, no problem. You see what I'm saying? And then every day for the whole school year, kindergarten, right? Every day. And one might go, wow, that's so tragic. And I go, it sucked at the time, but I didn't know no better than to be in my moment because I was a child. I didn't know how to distract or defend or, whatever, right? And that really defined me as a BIPOC artist. And then it kind of loops back to one of the questions is like how do you do it? Or where does it come from for me, And I will be perfectly honest with you, because I say this all the time, and some of you might even be feeling this, so I think it's appropriate. The source of my power is my anger. The difference is I've learned to transmutate that power and use it as a productive fuel so it doesn't consume me as it did in my youth. And I hurt many people, like physically, and I was hurt as well. And that happened that summer of kindergarten because I couldn't go down the street without getting beat up by these 3 kids. It was insane. It was insane. It didn't matter how fast I tried to run past their house. It didn't matter if I was across the street. I was like this big. I was a tiny, tiny little Chinese kid, right? Sickly, skinny, threw up on the bus every once in a while because I got motion sick. That really helped, It was so bad. I was really into cowboys, so I wore cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, which made it even worse. I was just target, right? They would call me the CH word, steal my hat, right? Tell me I wasn't allowed to wear it, all this kind of stuff. But that summer, something just snapped. So I'm 7, right? Something just snapped. I'm like, this is wrong. This is wrong. I should be able to walk down the street. So I went to my garage and I grabbed a piece of pipe. And then it was like I teleported. I'm sure I didn't. Otherwise, I'd continue to do it today. But I teleported to their house. And I beat those 3 kids with this pipe. And then I teleported home. And I was like, it was like a movie. And I was like, clink, ding, ding, ding. It was so dramatic. I play it back. The reality of it in my mind is ding, 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 ding. Flash forward, I'm a man now. It was so, but it's because it was really a real defining moment, right? And it became that anger became a source of my humor and all this stuff for a long time. And then, I do consider myself lucky because, and I don't mean this in a really bad way at all, I was never a super smart person. I was an instinctual person. And I feel if I had been smarter, I might have thought my way out of certain things that I shouldn't have. So I'm really grateful, that I was made this way. And I just wow, here I am now. I met the quote unquote right people at the right time in my journey in life, and they taught me things, exercises, spiritual concepts, training for acting through different institutions. I met my wife, when I was 26, fell in love, and I'm I just want to be a whole person, right now. I'm not. I'm incomplete. That's my shit. I gotta work on that. And because I loved her so much, I just boom, I just developed myself, in 2 years, what might have taken 5 or 10 of just hanging on to stuff. I'm no, man, I gotta be whole, right now. And, you know, so I feel really lucky in that way. And then my life just continues to lead me to, like, all these places, like, to every moment that I have. Oh, thank you. Every moment that I was able to stay in the moment for has led me to where I am now. You know, to be affected by countless people, and in return to share that, you know, that energy, that knowledge with them. So thankfully, I got the 5. Is now the time to show the, no, I'm just gonna keep talking. Now is not the time to do that. So, yeah, just do that, done. You know, I will say this, folks, BIPOC artists, if you think it's racist, it is. Yeah, you don't need to doubt. Just because no one is outright, you know, doing it, if you feel it, I would trust that. I've been in countless racist rooms that didn't show a lick of racism. But you know. You know. So you got to go with that. You got to trust that. Right? Now, does that mean, you know, you're constantly going, I'm calling you out, man, you're a racist. Right? No, I don't mean that. But I mean, don't doubt yourself. And it's okay to be angry. Like it really is. You know, like I teach my students, my acting students, I'll try to say this concisely, because I find it a pretty big concept. An actor's job is to make the character's feelings or emotions into actions. And then you watch it, and it's entertaining. When you watch an actor just acting their feelings, it's really boring. Really boring. You're like, this is kind of like life already. Can we see someone do something? But the actor as a human being, okay, has to feel their feelings without changing them into action. It's the opposite. So Raugi the human, if I feel sad, I just stay sad. I don't go, I feel sad, and then I say something like, I don't feel like I'm a real actor. But you see, like, if I can say the words I feel, what comes next should be a feeling. Not, I just don't feel like I'm a good actor. That's just a judgment upon your feeling, or a distraction upon your feeling, or whatever. But for actors, it's confusing, because your job is to make feelings into action. But in your real life, you must not do that, or we cannot act properly. Like, it's insane. Like, acting is very difficult. You know? And I'm trying to teach. You know, I'm not poo-pooing my old, like, teachers and stuff. Like, I learned what I learned, you know? But I'm like, come on. I'm trying to teach a different way, you know? Something that, like, you know, like I was trained as a white actor, essentially, right? When I went out to audition, like I thought I was a white actor auditioning for white parts. But I wasn't. I was a Chinese actor auditioning for white parts. But I thought I was white. And then, luckily, it didn't stick, because I'm not so smart. And my instincts took over. And I was like, whoa, 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 Raugi, just take a look in the mirror, you know? Great. So I think, you know, we're done for the me talking portion. Thank you all for listening. There may be an opportunity for Q&A after. I'm totally open for you to ask me anything. But I think at this point, maybe we show, so this is a film that I directed. It's post-production, it's all finished, it's in film festivals, it's doing like really well wherever it's going. I'm really proud of it. One of our leads is a Filipina actress. She's really great. And her and I were about to do Bad Parent together, this Inst Choi's new play. But like due to COVID, we got shut down, but we'll still have a run of it later on. So please, Owen, thank you.